Hi everybody, I'm Cassandra from Craft to Believe After, and welcome to another video. And happy Friday if you are watching this video on Friday the 8th of November when it will be coming out. Now, the main thing that I wanted to share with you for this video, of course, is our week 2 of the hashtag Nautical November Cal that I'm doing with my lovely friends Lee from the channel Lee Mac and Pamela from the channel Ginger Cat Crochet. For the whole month of November, every Friday we will be popping on here to show you some projects inspired by the ocean. As you can gather from the title of our little crochet along, Nautical November, anything nautical or ocean related, anything goes. So we are excited about this. Quite a few people have shared with me already their projects. So a few folks have been joining in with the Cal. Towards the end of the month, I will do a little slideshow of everyone who joined in, anyone who did a nautical themed project. It's always fun to crochet some things together. After I show you my project that I made for this week, we will also just have a quick little general crochet catch up because I'm not doing my regular Sunday videos for the rest of November. I'll only be doing these Friday videos. But let me start and show you the project that I made for this week, and I'm super excited for it. It is one of my favorite projects that I've made in the last few months. It took such a long time to make, and I didn't even do all the details on it, but I absolutely loved it. Now I will show you the book that I worked from for this week. Again, I used the Aquatic Amigurumi book. I used the first book last week. This week I'm using book number 2, and I will show you which project I decided to make. Now, of course, I should have marked it. It's sort of marked. But I decided to make Marcus the turtle. So this is the pattern I chose. At first I skipped past him because he's really, I think, he even looks labor intensive. He was labor intensive. But I'm glad I stuck with it, and I decided, to just go with it and complete him, because he took me several evenings to complete. It's not, it was definitely not a quick project. These patterns in general, they're also not beginner friendly patterns. They're not in the end that difficult. It uses all the regular stitches that we use for Omigurumi, which is for the most part single crochet. So nothing extremely weird about it. It was just, you have to concentrate when reading these patterns. But I loved it. And I will show you what my little sea turtle looks like. Here you go. Now I will have to do a few close-up shots. I mean, look at those eyes. I don't think mine is 100% correct, but I still love how it turned out. His little face. I did do some of the embroidery that they asked for on the pattern. I didn't do the embroidery on the hands because I wasn't sure if I'm going to keep it or give it to, sell it or give it to someone. And then those little embroidery pieces on the little front flippers, I think, especially if it's for a young child, would have just come loose. So I just decided to leave them off. Also in the book, and I will show you what it looks like, they have some embroidery on the shell, but I just really like the plain shell just as it is. It sort of turns up like this. He's got his little legs dangling. He's got his little belly with all of that front loop stitching. I mean, this took absolute ages for me. I mean, maybe it's a quick pattern for some other people, but for me it took a very long time. He has his little hat. I I love how this turtle turned out. Now let me just show you in the book what the embroidery on the shell looks like, on the ones that she did. There we go. As I say, I just decided to leave it off. So you could do some embroidery on it. But by that point, I was just ready to get this guy done. Actually, the pattern comes with this adorable little snail friend. But I did decide to make a friend for my turtle, even though it was not the snail that was part of the pattern. So I thought, you know what? I cannot just have him on his own. I'm going to add something to him. So let me just add his little friend, and I will show you how absolutely adorable it is once you add a little friend for the turtle. And here is the little friend that I made him. A teeny tiny little seagull. Now, is that not the most adorable? Now, excuse my head there in the background. Isn't that just adorable? Oh, my focusing is all out. Sorry. There we go. I love this little seagull. Now, this seagull is from the book, but it is part of a different, I think it comes with, I can't even remember which one, but it is a pattern, sort of a little friend pattern for one of the other. Is that this one? Yes. So on the pattern for the narwhal, you actually got the little seagull pattern. So I just borrowed that seagull pattern and added it to my sea turtle, and I love it. I think it's absolutely brilliant. I knew I had to take a photo of this turtle with an ocean type of background. Now, living here in Copenhagen, I'm fairly close to the ocean. In fact, my office where I work is right on the ocean. I have an ocean view. It's absolutely brilliant. Well, it's more of a bay. We don't really have like a proper ocean you would think of with waves. It's very strange. There's no waves here, apart from when the wind blows really, really strongly. But I took some photos yesterday. I took the turtle with me to work just to get that ocean vibe for my background. And I will pop a photo on the screen of the photo I took just as I arrived at work yesterday morning. So I loved it. I loved taking the photo with that background, and I absolutely love how this guy turned out. I used, of course, Rainbow Cotton 86, which is my favorite yarn to use for Omigurumi, and I used a 2.5mm hook. So I hope you enjoyed my little sea turtle and his little seagull friend for week 2 of the hashtag Nautical November Cal. Now please head over to Lee and Pamela's channel as well. Have a look what they made for week 2. I'm super excited to see what they've been up to. We don't know, we didn't discuss what projects we were going to be making, so it's a surprise for all of us when the videos are released. Alright you guys, so a reminder, I will see you again next week, Friday, for week 3 of the Nautical November Cal. Now talking of week 3, on the same day, so next week Friday the 15th, is actually also the reveal for our final hooking up with books that I'm doing with my friend Caroline at For the Love of Crochet. The book that we read or that we worked from for the last 2 months. You could have either have read the book or watched the movie or one of the series on YouTube, has been Persuasion. And Jane Austen is one of my favorite authors. I love the book Persuasion, and I just loved watching the film again. I actually I watched the 1995 version, which I really like. I mean, I love the book in itself. I just love reading her stories. I've read it so many times, but Persuasion is just, it's a book that I really, really enjoy. So please, next week, have a look. Well, like I say, there will be 2 reveals. It will be reveal for week 3 of Nautical November, and it will be our Hooking Up with Books. A few of you have submitted projects for our Hooking Up with Books reveal. I'm a bit behind on my emails at the moment, so I will still respond and let you know if I've received your project. I will do a little slideshow. So next week we will have a slideshow for the Hooking Up with Books. So if you still want to join in, you can make a project inspired by Persuasion. And what is really nice and so fitting is that Persuasion sort of has a very nautical theme as well. Fits in perfectly with our Cal that's actually going on. So a wonderful book to be combining, Hooking Up with Books and the Nautical November Cal fits in together perfectly. The other thing that I wanted to share with you was my 2 most recent squares for the hashtag A Year of Granny Squares Cal, hosted by my friend Jenny over at In My Spare Time Crochet. Now the last 2 that I did, I never know what numbers they are, but I think this one was the last square for the spring season. So the book is divided into seasons. We have I think this was the very last one in the spring section. We've just started on summer, and let me just get it the right way. This was our first project from the summer section. Now my lighting is not very good. It doesn't pick up the colors really well, but it's like a pastel yellow and a sort of a pastel pink and a green. It's the same colors that I've been using for my spring. So I'm going to try and use a similar color scheme throughout the book. So for all of the projects, regardless of the season that they fall into, I'm going to try and stick to the same colors, that I have the same color palette for all of my squares. So there we have it. I really enjoyed actually both of these squares a lot. So this one, I do like the flowery ones that you work sort of in, you make your square starting, you work it in the round. But this granny square one was a lot of fun. Very easy and very quick to make. So I've really been enjoying these granny square projects. Then the very, very last thing, the Omigurumi World Tour. If you've seen my most recent post on my community tab here on YouTube, our international book has made it safely to Canada. So our last recipient in the UK, she shipped it off. It actually reached Canada really quickly. And the project that was selected there was the Daisy. So I know the book is on the way to the second person in Canada already. So I'm just waiting to hear what project she will choose. I've really been excited that we've had some movement, with our international book as well. The international book has been behind for a bit, but it seems to be catching up to our US book. So keep an eye out on my community tab. I will post on there as soon as I know, whenever the next project has been selected, either by the US book or the international book. So I will keep you guys as up to date as possible. But that is it, you guys. It's been a fun week. I hope you are enjoying seeing my slightly different than usual projects. This one has been fantastic. I loved it. Not sure if I will ever make him again. He was very time consuming, but I love it. I love this little seagull. It was such fun. Now this little seagull I will definitely make again. He was a lot of fun to do. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the other ladies have done. Keep on sending your submissions for the Nautical November Cal as well. A lot of you have joined in. It's fun to see your nautical makes. But that's it, you guys. I've kept you busy for quite a while this week. I hope you've all had a wonderful, wonderful week, whatever you have been doing. If it's working, if it's family, if it's crafting, I hope you have had enjoyment in whatever it is that you do. I hope you enjoy the weekend. I'm certainly ready for the weekend. Some relaxing time. Definitely, as always, some crocheting time. All right, friends, that's it. I will see you again next week Friday for our next crochet catch-up, our little community chat. And as always, you guys, until I see you in the next video, stay safe and stay crafty.